I had a long, hard day today, and God, I'm glad to be here. I feel great.
Is he?
What was that?
Is he?
High five. Okay. So my name is Waylon Lewis. The URL is new, as is our website, elephantjournal.com. And I'm honored to be here with Kathleen Robinson of I.T.E.A. What does that stand for, Kathleen?
Institute of Taoist Education and Acupuncture.
Or as Heather Mueller, who introduced you before, pronounces it, Taoist.
Taoist.
Yeah.
And that's another way to say it.
Right. Well, that's what you get when you spell something with a T and you want people to pronounce it with a D.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Those crazy Chinese. They're so fun. So tell me this is a college that is teaching people Taoism? Is that what it is? Well, no, Waylon, actually.
Darn, that's a great question. No, actually, Waylon.
Yeah.
It is that we're teaching 5-element acupuncture, but the essence of acupuncture is sort of based in Taoism. And so that's why we've got that name in the title.
So to jump into it, I feel like this is Jaws, and that's like...
I know that music.
Boom, boom. We've got everything sorted out. It'll be fine this time, I promise you. Yeah, getting back to acupuncture. I understand it's a great career. I have a lot of friends. They all seem to be girls. They're all intelligent. They're all studying acupuncture because they want to make a ton of money helping people. It sounds like a great career. I should have thought of it.
Except you're not the girl.
Right, and I'm not intelligent. Yeah. And I have shaky hands. That probably wouldn't be good.
That would not work with a needle, that's for sure.
Are we getting mic on here? I can't mess this one up. Okay, let's just make sure. Okay, we'll cut that 10 seconds and go to an Izzy commercial. So, right, so acupuncture, sticking needles in people. I grew up in Boulder in a Buddhist family. I ate organic food, drank organic martinis as a child.
Lucky you.
Yeah. Didn't get into the organic hookers, as Kelly was talking about, until later, when I realized how lonely and anyway. So, but I'm still horrified by the idea of sticking needles. I feel like a sort of middle American, kind of fat and dumb, when it comes to acupuncture. Middle America doesn't watch, so I can say whatever I want. So how do you get people past the fear of needles?
Well, interestingly, some people have no fear of needles.
Well, like addicts, right?
I suppose that would be one population.
That's the point where she was like, that's not going on our website.
There are some people that have no fear, that are not worried at all, that actually don't even have much of a sensation when the needle goes in. Because the thing that happens is that if I put a needle into somebody and I miss the point, which I do sometimes, which we sometimes do, what you actually feel is just the pressure of the fingertip. But if you put a needle in and you actually contact the energy, you feel a sensation, which some people describe as pain. I've been cussed at, I've been snarled at, I've been kicked a time or two.
Me too, but that's another story. Yeah.
But the needles themselves are so small, they're about the size of a piece of hair, that it's not really that, it's almost, I remember as a kid sticking a bobby pin into a socket, and when the metal contacted the current, I got quite a jolt.
We're not recommending that.
That's not what you get when you feel the sensation of energy, but it is a sensation of something moving and a pulling or a tautness.
So I was talking with our photographer, Timmy D'Antonio, in preparation for this interview. He had gone to I.T.E.A, and he was saying how he had a lot of back pain, and when he really treats acupuncture as something that he gets into whenever he's injured, and it's more effective. He's another sort of Boulder boy, as I was describing, organic this, organic that. He's not, like me, afraid of just about everything, including needles. And he said that it's super effective in helping in injury. Why is acupuncture, sticking needles in your body, good for you?
I know, it seems, occasionally when I'm there actually needling, I think, I can't believe this stuff actually works.
Right.
But the thing is that internally we are wired, so to speak, where there are meridians that flow from the tips of our toes to tips of our fingers, our head, our brain, innervating all of the organs. And they're
doing what to the organs?
Innervating. They're going through those organs, traveling through them. And the way we access those meridians is by choosing particular points along them. And so when we choose those points, what we're doing is, even if I do a point on your leg here, it will affect what happens in your feet, it will affect your chest, it will affect all the way up to your clavicle and beyond as it connects with other meridians. So you're drawing energy to particular sites, that chi, that vital force, which is what acupuncturists work with. And whenever you bring that on a regular, consistent basis, you're bringing vitality to that area. And because we're nature-based ourselves, created from nature in that essence, nature's whole endeavor is to create. So it's constantly creating anew, and as a result, healing what's going on there.
Mm-hmm. Well said. It's amazing how eloquent you are when I shut up. So basically what happens is chi, this life force, is flowing around in these meridians, which are like rivers,
yes,
something like that.
Great way to say it.
But then they get blocked.
They can.
Like if I have bad posture or something like that?
They can get blocked for all sorts of reasons. They can get blocked for physical reasons, car accidents, trauma, violence. They can get blocked emotionally. They can get blocked spiritually. And that's really the counterpoint of 5-element acupuncture. Is the essence is we treat the whole of the body, the mind, and the spirit. So we pay attention to
Is
symptoms.
that extra if you want all three? Or?
No,
okay.
no. All three, all the time.
Right.
And that's vital, because what we find is the more we can contact the spirit of an individual, the more the spirit of an individual is enlivened and invigorated, the greater sense of well-being they have in their whole life, including symptoms. Symptoms may not necessarily improve, but as a result of treatment and the spirit of them feeling so much more alive, their relationship to those particular symptoms are no longer as dramatic as they may have been in the past.
So you mentioned 5-element a couple times. Is that earth, water, fire, wind, and metal?
I always have to think in my mind.
Wikipedia, thank you.
It's very good. Almost. Yeah. There's no wind.
Oh.
We have fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. And
okay.
so it's based on the 5 seasons.
Wood.
Wood.
Right.
Yeah, which is the quality of wood is wind. So you're very close.
Yes. And all of us are different elements, or we're combinations of that. Is that correct?
We're combinations, but constitutionally, one will stand out as an imbalance. And that's what the 5-element acupuncturist is most keen on, is what's the constitutional imbalance, and as we work on that, watch how the rest of the system heals as a result.
And could my nature be like fire and water, or opposing things, or is it always? How does that work? Sounds like astrology, like people would enjoy that. It's kind of fun.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily use the word opposing things. We are a combination of all the elements, and certainly a combination of a handful of them more consistently than perhaps others. But there's more of an interplay of balance and imbalance that comes into play. Does that
kind
make
of
sense?
in-depth answer that I'm sure we don't have time for.
I'm sorry, I can't do a better job.
Jumping into I.T.E.A. again, into the sort of, no, it was brilliant and eloquent, but we're more superficial. We don't really, we skip over that, skim over it. So, but I want to get back to I.T.E.A. because I'm seeing we're out of time. How is acupuncture a career these days? Is it
it's
a
an
great,
amazing career.
Yeah.
And the reason is because, as I mentioned earlier, there's great autonomy, which for people who like to, sort of independent-minded, it suits them well. But the greatest thing, I think, is that you have a way of being in service in the world in a very dramatic way. My professor once said, we're humble servants of nature. And that's really what this medicine is. So in terms of a career, we have the opportunity to stand one-on-one with individuals and not just affect them, body, mind, spirit, but in affecting them, affect their family life, and as a result, affect their community life. And that community then reaches out to a larger community. So in a way, it's very far-reaching. It's very ecological. Independently.
And just practically speaking, people can, it's a good living. I hate to harp on that, but it seems like from a Buddhist point of view, we talk about right livelihood, where you try and align your livelihood with doing good in the world.
That's the thing.
And this is, to me, very attractive because you're making good money. You were saying in Boston or in LA or New York or something, people charge $150, whereas, in the middle America, and I apologize for my earlier comments, which were unfair and untrue. You might charge, what, $40?
You can charge 40, 80, 90. I mean, there's
Sliding
a wide
scale.
range, but also practitioners will often offer sliding scales for people who need them so that it's accessible to people, that it's not something for just a higher echelon.
And I know a lot of massage therapy workers, at some point when they're 40 or 50, a lot of them want to retire because it's so hard on their bodies. Is acupuncture something that you can kind of do forever, stick needles in people?
Well, our professor just about did it forever. He was actually sitting with tubes in a gown when he did his last consultation with a patient, which was
that
pretty
discounted
remarkable.
or? Okay.
Very good, Waylon.
That was inappropriate. I apologize. Okay.
Usually.
He's like, one more.
No. Yeah, I've totally lost my train of thought.
Well, on that note, thank you so much for coming again.
Thank you so much.
You offer us depth, a good sense of humor, which is more than I can say about myself. I found Kelly's comedy thing excruciating. Thank you so much. I.T.E.A.edu.
Yes, great. Thank you.
So in the break, we're going to have a couple-minute break. If you want to support Trilogy, they support us. They don't charge us anything for